The All-American Otaku Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the All-American Otaku Show. This episode is about the Dreys. Dreys are usually love interests and or people who really love the main character, who's often male but sometimes female. The Dreys, four Dreys we're going to talk about, even though there is a lot more Dreys, is Sandre, Kundre, Dondre, and Yandre. Sandres are people, or often female, sometimes male, who act like they don't like you, sometimes rude to you, sometimes act disgusted to you, but internally they have feelings for you. They love you, and they don't know how to express it. So how they express it is by saying, "Oh, you're this person's scum" or something like that. It's like the old adjective when a male would pull the hair of the girl that they would like, or a girl would beat up the guy that they like back in school days. The second Dre we're talking about is Yandere. These Yanderes are very passionate and very fluent with what they like, but they could often be psychotic, sometimes killing other love interests, sometimes almost borderline trying to rape the person that they like, or sometimes they will even go off and be like, okay, we really like this person, and we're going to beat up and terrorize anyone who gets in the way. The prime example of a yandere in anime is from Future Diaries. From Future Diaries, as well as the main girl who's part of the Purity Force in Sumaneta. The third Dre we're going to talk about is Kundre. Kundrays look like very flat emotions, have no emotions. They're like almost like robots. They don't express love. They don't express hate. They don't express this kid. They just no emotion. They're just flat. But this stray does love the person, but shows no emotion one way or the other. Kundre, prime example, is from the anime Is This a Zombie? The Necromancer. She absolutely shows no emotion whatsoever, which is demonstrated because of her powers. And the fourth Dre is Dondre, which can be confused as Kundre. Dondres are kind of like your introverts. They stand alone in class. They don't really talk to very many people, but they end up having a connection with the main character as a love interest thing. They might show a little bit more emotion than the Kundre, but they still are kind of to themselves. Prime example of one of the Dreys is in Asuka from Evangelion. She goes for the main character, act like they hate it, and kind of rude and kind of pushy. A prime example of a yandere in anime is from Future Diaries. She goes in and tries to kill anyone and threatens anyone that even comes close to the main character. And a prime example of Kundre, as said before, is this a zombie? Flat emotion, no emotion whatsoever, but does have feelings for the main character. And Dondre, a prime example, is the anime I forget Can't Communicate. She is into herself but really likes the person and stays within her boundaries. The Dreys are very important in anime because those are like the key elements of love interests as well as key tone for the anime. If it's going to be more of a psychotic anime, it goes for yandere. If it's going to be more of hard tested love, it would be a sandre, and so forth and so forth. Usually in the drays, they have the main character being flat and really no personality because they want to the viewers to project themselves in that person. Therefore, so okay, I could get this harem and I could get this person. The drays are very prominent in harem, but not always in harem. The drays are very prominent in other animes such as Inuyasha. Kagome would be considered a tsundere. She acts flat and she acts unnice and mean to Inuyasha at times, and sometimes bossy and domineering towards him. To the fact that Inuyasha wears a necklace and she would often say, "Sit, boy," and he would fall flat on his face. Sandre, and there's also Sandres in Steins Gate and various other things. So basically, the Dre's are really key points and key elements of the love interest. To go more about how Dre's act in manga, here's Mr. Pat in his manga adaptation of the Dre's.
What's called Dre's. Sandre, Yandere, Kundre, and Dandre. These often come into romance styles. So, first I'll do the explanation. Uh, Sandre. They have personalities that will show animosity to their love interest, and if they're complimented or they'll be really shy and just super embarrassed and will deny everything. The one I chose for the manga that represents that was called Masamuni's Revenge. Um, the main hero in that one, Masamune, he is not the one that's the Sandre. It's his rival and slight love interest, Aki, and she's comes as a bully at first and slowly becomes it develops romance into it. I and then the next one I chose was Yandere. Now this one is a really intriguing one. They are lovesick, obsessed with their love interest, and will relentlessly pursue their love interest. Yes, I said it twice. And they will not at that point they'll basically not care what the main interest cares about how they pursue them. The one I chose was Future Diaries. You may have heard this one. I don't know. Uh, this is the iconic Yandere one called Yunagasai, and she relentlessly pursues uh, her uh, boyfriend and just keeps on going and ends up killing people with, keep it's like iconic semi-psycho yandere. Uh, Next one is Kundre. They really show their side to their love interest, and outly they secretly do care about them. They're usually mostly cool types like people. The one I chose, this one, and I don't know if anyone's heard this one, called Mission of Love. The main heroine, which is called Yuki, that's the reason I remember that, because it means snow. And she's actually called the Snow Woman because she comes off really, really cold. Uh, and her love interest doesn't realize this and comes across, like I said, she comes across as a snow woman until more of the story, she opens up more. Next one is Dondre, and this one is their non-emotional, and sometimes they have overwhelming sadness, shy. This one I kind of correlate to like the ugly duckling. They don't think they're good enough for their love interest. The one I did was called Kimi ni Doke. Uh, the main heroine is Sawano Kurunama. Excuse my butchering of Japanese names on here. I like this one. But it takes a little bit. It's a slow burn. This one takes a little bit to get onto you, but I think I like the concept of, she slowly opens up to her love interest. And it's out of all these manga, I think I'm more appealed to Yandere because it is really, really interesting to see how the whole pursue of the main character without their knowledge, and they're even slightly stalkerish. So that's one of my most favorite types. I recommended these four, and this is Mr. Pat.